Holly, tell us about Loot.
Okay, so Luke's lead character is called Molly Novak, and she is played by Maya Rudolph.
Yes,
She
legend.
is the wife, long-standing wife of a Silicon Valley billionaire, and she lives in this wonderful, glamorous lifestyle in a palatial house with a personal Michelin-starred chef and full coterie of maids, walk-in designer wardrobes, a wonderful personal assistant is who camps things up to high heaven and plays, the archetypal, male personal assistant with views, and she's incredibly happy and living this ridiculous life. She's just been given at the start she's been given a she's off on a very, very fancy speedboat to be given her birthday present, which is a giant yacht with multiple swimming pools. I mean, it's all completely ridiculous, this over the top lifestyle.
Yeah.
And then go back and are celebrating her birthday with the great and the good there. And she suddenly discovers that her husband is having an affair with his assistant.
Uh-oh.
And
Uh-oh, that's trouble.
so this we've got to in the first 10 minutes. And so she promptly storms into the house and says, I want a divorce. And she gets one. There is no prenup, obviously. They've been together since, they
They
were
were in college.
yeah, she was, funding everything whilst he was building stuff in the garage. So she suddenly finds herself a multi-billionaire. I believe she starts off the film with something like this is a series with something like $87 billion.
$87 billion, yeah.
And it's suddenly, just goes and continues to live the high life, getting blind drunk and going to ridiculous parties and all sorts of things. And then suddenly realizes she doesn't have a purpose in life anymore. And she's suddenly received quite a lot of criticism for this, high living idiocy, and gets contacted about a foundation that she had unknowingly set up many years before. As you do, I often forget about the foundations I've just set up on the side. And she goes in to sign some papers and suddenly decides that actually she could have purpose in life by getting involved in this foundation, which works with underprivileged people to provide housing and all sorts of things. So she sort of stumbles into this with the, tone deaf approach that you would expect from somebody who's had that much money for a very long time. She tries to learn to reconnect with with people. It turns out her cousin works there, even though she didn't actually remember he was her cousin. And by him tries to reconnect with her black family, whom she has lost all touch with. And along the way, there is a love interest and all sorts of things as she tries to figure out who she is.
Sitcom shenanigans happen.
With underlying messages of it's good to be a good person, and trying to be as good as you can in the face of
Yeah,
insurmountable money getting in your way.
it's kind of one of these shows. It's a show that is trying to be critical about the 1%, so to say. It's trying to be critical about the 1% and be like, oh, isn't it terrible that they have all this money? But at the same time, it's almost kind of reveling in how much money these people have.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like isn't it terrible these people have all this money? But there's a certain bit of it that you're watching and going, it'll be nice to have that much money. I mean, she's just taking a helicopter to lunch. I mean, what's good?
I mean, I'm, feeling decadent, thinking I might get an Uber into the office in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah. So what did you think of this, Holly? Or what did you think of this?
I really enjoyed it. I gave up on it when I paused for a while when I'd run out of new episodes, and then must have taken 3 or 4 weeks off, and then came back to it. Yeah,
Because they're releasing one episode a week as Apple TV do. Yeah.
which I really struggle with, obviously. Not used to this. I'm House of the Dragon and about to be, Rings of Power. I'm going to lose my mind. No, I did need to come back to it, and there would be a point where I paused, where I thought, oh, I'm not I'm not quite sure I'm there now, but actually, I'm so glad I did go back. I found it was a really enjoyable series.
Mm.
Very pleased to have watched it.
All right, cool. Because and I'm gonna ask you how many stars that you give it in a second. Because I watched it and I thought it was all right. I thought it was sort of standard sitcom fare, standard sort of because it sort of turns into an office place sitcom because they start trying to bring in the characters in the foundation, and the more the show goes along, the more you realize it's not really about her or her ex-husband, and it's about the characters in the foundation. There's one of them who might be a love interest. There's someone called by played by the lady Sophia Salinas, who's played by MJ Rodriguez. Yeah, played by MJ Rodriguez is kind of like, the sort of uptight person to her fun-loving self, and there's all these things where they all try and help each other carry on with their lives. As I said, so far so sitcom-y. And the notes that it ends on, because there's this whole thing about the wealth and what do you do about all this wealth, and it ends on this almost kind of activist note, so to say. Yeah, almost a sort of activist note as to what you do with all the wealth, and it is a note that I did not like because I don't think it works.
I like it. I didn't like it either.
I don't like it because I don't think it works. It's like the final episode was written by a university student who had read some Karl Marx. That's that's what it felt like to me. So I mean, I'm just gonna say I'll give it probably a 3. I'll give it a 3. I may be back for season 2. I may not be back for season 2. Well, actually, what am I talking about? My 5 months with Apple TV Plus will be up, so I won't be back for season. So,
yeah,
what about you, Holly?
I give it a 3 as well, and I'm not sure I'll be back for season 2. I enjoyed watching it. I'm glad I watched it. You say I didn't like the way it ended.
Yeah, they don't like the way it ended.
If I'm really bored, then I might watch season 2, but I'm not going to hunt it down. But I'm glad I went back and watched the rest of it.
Yeah, because the way it ends makes me feel like I already know what season 2 is going to be, and I don't think it's going to be good.
Well, I think I'm sort of bored in advance.
Yeah, I'm bored. Right.